Oh, Gen Z so bad. Gen Z so sensitive. Gen Z is pissed the off. We living in this shitty ass economy where even working 3 basic bare minimum jobs can't even help you rent out a fucking apartment. Does that make sense? We make twice the money our parents made when they were our age, and we don't have half the shit that they have. You be sitting here thinking, oh, I'm bad with money, oh, I'm this. Whole time all you did was buy some groceries. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, you traded your house for a pack of blueberries, bitch. We gotta work 5 jobs to be able to afford a apartment for a month. Cause apartments aren't just $500, $600 no more. They're now $1,300 up to like $5,000 every single month. Student apartments are now $1,500, at least $900, $1,500 for a bedroom. You look out bedrooms to rent so you're closer to campus, that shit is still $1,500. It's oh, excuse me. It's so frustrating. And it's like you can try so hard and you just keep going in consistent circles of getting nothing done and being able to afford jack shit, even though you see here working every single day of the week, basically. Like, this shit is not fair. They keep putting these dumbass people in office to where they're making it even harder for us to be able to get these things that we know for a fact that we need, because it'd be independent on our own at some point. But we can barely do that. Why? Because this economy is so shit. We're now 10 times more in debt to ourselves than we were before Trump got elected. Like, if minimum wage was to keep up with inflation that has happened, the minimum wage would be $66 an hour, not $7.92, which is our bare minimum right now. And I feel like it's not fair, because there are some kids who are so determined and working their asses off, and we still can't even get nowhere. We can't even go we can barely go anywhere. We can barely do anything because everything is just so high. It's like you're forced to be on this earth. You have to basically pay to live your life, and then when you die, you gotta pay for that shit too. You gotta pay to be born. It's like, if you don't have money, you don't have nothing. So if you don't have no job, I suggest you get up and go get a fucking job, because you're gonna need it. Go apply for a couple of them, because you're gonna need to make the good money to be able to get by. You can look all over anywhere. It's exactly the same. Especially the area I live in, we have one of the worst real estates, like, ever. But you know, I guess this is why we're so pissed off. Cause you work 3 jobs and you don't even get nowhere. Can't even get nothing that you want. Cause you gotta focus on stuff that you need that you can barely afford. This shit sucks. Like, this shit really sucks.
Oh my goodness, y'all. It's the same song and dance, but we're going to get into it, y'all. But what I want you to do while I'm sharing my take is for you to get in the comment section. I want to invite you to share your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of what this young lady just shared, what she had to say, her situation, all of that good stuff. My only request, please keep it respectful. Don't get disrespectful towards her. Don't crash out in the comment section. We are thrivers over here. We repel negative energy. So let's keep it positive in the comments. Now, let's get into this, right? So, there's this thing called insanity, right? Y'all know what insanity is. People say when you try the same thing over and over and over and you get the same result, that makes it insanity. And what this young lady is describing, it's insanity. I feel like I'm starting to get that sense with Gen Z. They just keep repeating the same trope and they think that it's going to bring about a change. It doesn't. The blame game is not going to fix any of the problems that they have. All they want to do is blame the government, blame the economy, blame Trump. Come on, are you serious? Like, you really blaming Trump? Do you know how deep in debt Americans were before anybody even had a thought that Donald Trump would ever even run for president? Our country and our citizens here in America have been struggling and drowning in debt. The real big issue, and she mentioned the one, which was inflation, right? She mentioned it, yeah, but she mentioned it from the perspective of, hey, inflation is so bad that we should have a 60 something dollar minimum wage. The likelihood of that happening, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. What we can say when she mentioned the fact about making more money than your parents, that's true. But inflation and debt are many things that our parents did not have to deal with to the degree of this Gen Z generation, right? The inflation is going to reduce the spending power. So even though you technically are making quote unquote more money, it doesn't spend the same way that it did when your parents were coming up. And the amount of debt is not the same. Like young kids in this Gen Z generation and even I would say millennials, like my generation are steeped and buried in debt, whether it's student loan debt or consumer or credit card debt. Like most people are more inclined to get further in debt than they are to save or invest. That's just the reality of the world we live in. And this is not the fault of the economy or the president. It's personal. We are the ones that decide how and what we spend our money on, whether we choose to go deeper into debt, whether we choose to go into debt at all, whether we choose to spend versus saving or investing. Like that is a personal decision that we each have to make. And it goes to a point that she mentioned is like, how are they going to ever be independent? But independence is about having the freedom to control and make your own choices. I look and I listen to a lot of these things that a lot of these Gen Zers and people are online talking about, and they're not independent. Even though they feel like it, I would say it's closer to being interdependent because they're dependent upon somebody else paying them a living wage. They're dependent upon their government doing things that they'll be happy and pleased with. But that's not the way it works. Like that is a dependence on an outside external force on the things that are going to determine your way of life, the lifestyle that you live. That's the one place you do need to be independent when it comes to if you are going to work for somebody, making sure you go into an industry where you will be paid, right? She talked about, oh man, we working 2 and 3 jobs and we ain't got enough to make money. You do realize, and maybe you don't. So let me just say this: the number of jobs you have does not determine the amount of wealth that you are going to be able to accumulate or the amount of income you're going to make. Like just because you have more jobs doesn't mean you're going to be better off financially. It is the industry and the amount of money or income that a particular job is going to pay you that matters more than how many jobs you have. It's people out here that's working 3, 4 jobs, but you got another person that got one source of income, one job, and they probably make double or sometimes even triple the amount of money of the person with multiple jobs. Multiple jobs doesn't equal more money. The focus needs to be, and this is where you break that cycle of insanity doing the same thing over and over again. She talked about bare minimum jobs. Well, why the hell are you not thinking outside of the box and figuring out what is a skill that you can develop that will put you in a position where you do not have to go and get a bare minimum job unless it's your own choice when it comes to making a little extra money? Your primary source of income needs to be in a field that you are going to be able to make more money. Like a lot of people are adverse and they're afraid of sales, but maybe you do need a sales commission job where you can have more control over the amount of income that you make. Or you need to go into another field that is going to pay you way more money. See, a lot of the mistakes that people also don't want to talk about, in addition to inflation and debt, is that there's a lot of millennials and Gen Z that went to college, got in debt, and they actually majored in degrees that when they graduated were not going to have a job that put them in a position to be able to thrive financially. We have to acknowledge that that is on us. Like if you chose to go and get a job or a degree in an area that doesn't pay well, that's on you. And that's where you fix it. You got to start looking at what is a skill that you can develop, or what is an industry that you can become certified in, or even what is a trade that you can acquire so that you can make more money. That's the goal. Make more money. Don't just aim to get more jobs because that is not always, in many cases, it's not going to fix your problem, especially if all of those jobs are bare minimum, minimum wage, low income jobs. Like, no, you have to identify a way for you to make more money from the job or jobs that you currently have. So that's my take. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you haven't shared them already. Until next time, I'm Jay. I'll catch you on the next episode of The Daily Alarm. Until then, stay blessed.